and welcome to Rhymers Will Be Readers. It's Tuesday, December 7th, and last I looked outside, there was snow coming down and blowing all around. So I hope that you're able to get outside at some point and even play in the snow, even though it's really chilly outside today. So let's start with our welcome song. We clap and sing hello. We clap and sing hello. With our friends from early on, we clap and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. We wave and sing hello. With our friends from early on, we wave and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. We stomp and sing hello. With all our friends from early on, we stomp and sing hello. So once again, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning so far, and I hope that you're able to bundle up because the weatherman is telling us it's going to be really cold today. And I hope you're able to get outside and play in it, as I said earlier. So today we're talking about fairy tales. What is a fairy tale? So, a fairy tale is a story that is make believe or pretend. And fairy tales have actually been around for hundreds of years, been around for such a long time. Often, a fairy tale will start with once upon a time and dot, 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 what will happen, and will end with happily ever after, with a whole lot of action in between with the story. And often in a fairy tale, there are dragons or elves or different types of creatures, sometimes talking animals as well. So a lot of imagination is used in these fairy tales. Sometimes, too, there's kings and queens and princes and princesses. And so it's really fun to kind of just let your mind wander with the wonder of a fairy tale. Now, fairy tales, like I said, hundreds of years ago, they started. And how they started was they started with what is called the oral tradition of telling stories. And so, what that means is it means telling a story with your mouth and just talking about it within a family or within a community. And that's how the stories got passed down through the different generations until they were able to be written down. And so this morning, I thought I would tell you a story in the familiar or the old way of the oral tradition. And so it's called The Three Little Pigs. And so I will start. And join in if you can, because some of it has a lot of repetition, which is a lot of fun. So there were three little piggies sitting in a house. Along came a wolf as quiet as a mouse. He said, little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hairs of our chinny chin chin. So he huffed and he puffed, and one little piggy flew away. How many piggies are left? That's right, two. Two little piggies sitting in a house. Along came a wolf, as quiet as a mouse. He said, little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hairs of our chinny chin chin. So he huffed and he puffed, and one little piggy flew away. How many are left? That's right, one little piggy is left. One little piggy sitting in a house. Along came a wolf, as quiet as a mouse, and he said, little pigs, let me come in. Not by the hairs of my chinny chin chin. So that wolf huffed, and he puffed, and whoo, that little piggy flew away. How many piggies are left? That's right, no piggies. No little piggies sitting in a house. Along came a wolf, as quiet as a mouse. He said, little pigs, let me come in." But there was no one there to answer him. So he turned around and went away and said, "I'll be back another day." And three little piggies out did creep and back into bed, fast asleep. So that's an example of a fairy tale that you may be very familiar with, which is the Three Little Pigs, and but done in the oral tradition of how stories have been passed down through the years until some of them have been able to write them down. So try it out for yourself at some point too, because it's a lot of fun. And then also with fairy tales, what I've learned recently is that rhymes, so some of the rhymes that we share with you on Rhymers Will Be Readers, started hundreds of years ago as well, and that they can be the inspiration for story or for fairy tales too. So I'm going to tell you a rhyme and I'm going to show you a picture to kind of help you think about it. But this rhyme is "Hey diddle diddle." And would you believe it was first told and then later written down, but first told over 450 years ago? Wow, that's so long ago. And sometimes rhymes, as well as fairy tales, but mostly rhymes, the ones that I will be speaking, don't even have a lot of meaning and they are just for fun. And so it's fun to kind of say them out loud as well. But I'll also show you a picture to give you a sense of it. Let's see if I can hold it straight. There we go. Whoops. So it's "Hey diddle diddle, the cat and the fiddle, and the cow jumped over the moon. The dog laughed to see such sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon." So you can see it's super silly that really has no meaning. Like, have we ever seen a cow jump over the moon? Not really, but maybe in our imagination. And so the fun part about rhymes is they spark our imagination to think about our own stories that we may want to create as well. So the next rhyme also is really old and it came around 150 years ago. That's so long ago. It's so hard to remember that or to think that that was so far away, so long ago. And so it's Humpty Dumpty. Let's see, I hold it straight. There you go. And so Humpty Dumpty was considered an egg. Also, a little bit of a silly rhyme just for fun. So it's Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. So that's also fun to imagine, like an egg who's dressed and then he falls off a wall. So very fun and very silly. This one, next rhyme, is a little bit more magical in my mind and makes me think about wishing and hoping for things. And the picture I have is of two friends wishing on a star. And so it's starlight, star bright. So starlight, star bright. I wish I may, I wish I might have this wish I wish tonight. And then you can hope for whatever you wish for. So it's such a beautiful thought and a beautiful picture to be able to wish upon a star. And so I thought what we could do in that spirit is maybe even sing, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are." So the next time you see stars, think about starlight, star bright, and wishing upon a star as well. So one fairy tale that you may be familiar with is Sleeping Beauty. And so the next song or rhyme that I have tells the whole story about Sleeping Beauty. You may have already read this with your family or with your parents. And so it goes to the tune of London Bridges. So it goes, "There was a princess long ago, long ago, long ago. There was a princess long, long ago. She pricked pricked her finger and fell asleep, fell asleep, fell asleep. She pricked her finger and fell asleep long, long ago. The princess slept for 100 years, 100 years, 100 years. The princess slept for 100 years, long, long ago. A great big forest grew around, grew around, grew around. A great big forest grew around, long, long ago. A gallant prince came galloping by, galloping by, galloping by. A gallant prince came galloping by, long, long ago. He took his axe and chopped it down, chopped it down, chopped it down. He took his axe and chopped it down long, long ago. He took her hand to wake her up, wake her up, wake her up. He took her hand to wake her up long, long ago. Now everybody's happy now, happy now, happy now. Now everybody's happy now, long, long ago. So that's one example of a fairy tale that you may have read in a story or heard before, or even watched, in a movie, just told very simply through a song. And so, my challenge for you today and even into this week is to create your own fairy tale. So, remember, it starts with once upon a time and ends with happily ever after. And you can do whatever you like in between. You can tell your family with words, you can ask your mom and dad, or you can write it down as well. So, for example, I was thinking about Starlight, Starbright, using that as an example and saying, once upon a time, I wished upon a star, and then you fill in the blank with whatever you like. So, I encourage you to think about writing your own or telling your own fairy tale and let your imagination go wherever it takes you and have fun with it. And so, one announcement that I would like to share with you is that there is a holiday story stroll happening in downtown Woodstock. So it starts at the library and ends at the library, and in between, you get to walk down one side of Dundas Street in downtown Woodstock and be able to read a story that is in each window of each business. So if you go to oxfordearlyon.ca and click on Story Stroll, you'll be able to print out a map to see where you'll be walking and which stores where the story will be. And you can also print off a fun coloring sheet, and there's more details there as well. So check it out. It's a lot of fun and it's a great fun story. So it's time to say goodbye. So we clap goodbye like this. We clap goodbye like this. With all our friends from early on, we clap goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. We wave goodbye like this. With all our friends from early on, we wave goodbye like this. We stomp goodbye like this. We stomp goodbye like this. With all our friends from early on, we stomp goodbye like this. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day and stay bundled up and warm today. Until next time.